This is the first episode that the guest was here before us. Okay, we need to a huge applause, clap round.
Yeah, it doesn't look good.
For the guest that he was before us, this is something that really doesn't happen often in podcasts. And Chris was a little bit earlier than you, Tausif, and also he checked the email. So as for today's guest, I want to say some things clear first, because I created a video. I created a video about a month ago where I mentioned the creation of C-roll, right? The cinematic roll. Do you remember that video, Tausif?
I remember. Yeah, perfect. I remember that.
I thought you said cereal then.
Yeah, I mentioned guys like Peter McKinnon, Daniel Schiffer, Peter Lindgren that we had on the show as well. However, I didn't mention the guy who created the cinematic B-roll. And that was a huge mistake from me. That's why on today's episode, we have the creator of the cinematic B-roll. We have an amazing creator that he's from Europe, basically not in Europe anymore, but he used to be in Europe. And he's one of the most creative persons, not only in YouTube, but in the whole videography sphere. Because when he makes a video and he wants to make a video, for example, for a gear, for a laptop, or he makes it exactly like a movie. He makes it not just on the scripts, but he's doing all these, drawings when he creates his videos. Do you have anything in mind, Tausif?
No, does Chris know? Chris knows?
Okay, Tausif, last thing. He doesn't like podcasts, as Chris said, and he would never come to the Creativeless Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome James Matthews.
Yes. What's good?
What's up, brother?
There he is.
Good. How you boys doing?
Good. I actually thought there was no way we were getting James on, because we really tried to get you on earlier, and then Chris was like, nope. He flat out said, no, he doesn't like podcasts. We're not getting him.
Listen, I need to hold my hands up and say a massive sorry to Chris. I completely snaked him. I was a snake in the grass, mate, and I had to say I can't do it, but because obviously Emilio asked me like 24 hours before you, and I was like,
"Oh, really? It was that close, eh?"
Mate, it was like trivia. I was like, "What do I do here?" So I just said, I immediately said to Emilio, like, "What do I do? What do I do? Do I just tell him I can't do it, or do I like say yes? I don't know." So yeah, sorry, mate. I ended up snaking you.
All good. It worked out.
Emilio, weren't you saying like, oh, James is such a bad guy? Like, why is he saying that to you, Chris? And like, kind of like egging us on?
Was he really?
No,
of course not. Of course not. Tausif, you want to play that game again, right?
Wait, which game?
Okay, so
sure, it won't be the last time.
James, there are so many things. The intro was a very small for saying and expressing the feelings when we watch your videos. Because, first of all, I want to say huge congrats, because you accomplished something that a lot of creators wanted to do. And also you showed to the creators in the YouTube community that if you have patience and time, after a year or 2 years of hard work, eventually the views and all these things are going to come up. What's your thought on that? That you were creating top-notch content from the very first day on your YouTube channel.
Well, first off, thank you very much. I appreciate that. That's very kind of you to say that. I guess it's like YouTube is a very funny place, because you can be someone who started right at the bottom, who doesn't really know anything about videography or filmmaking, and you can literally watch someone's career kind of progress. Or you get these people that jump in like quite far down in their career, and they're already like a banging videographer or like a banging cinematographer already. Like, for example, like Danny Gervitz, right? Oh, mate, he's so sick. Like, his stuff's amazing. And he kind of jumped in at quite a late stage in his career, so instantly his work is like spot on. But then you get these people that like kind of start right at the bottom, and you literally watch their career kind of like evolve, as it were, and for, like, I guess I was in the middle, like in that middle ground, because I was doing loads of different filmmaking, commercial based stuff before I even jumped on YouTube. And then slowly, as I jumped on YouTube, my career then kind of really started to like find its feet almost. Obviously, I'm nowhere near where you can get or where I'd like to be, but it definitely kind of picked up from there. And it's cool, like at the end of the day, it's just cool to document your process, you know? I think like one day, like we're all going to be there on the deathbed, and if you've got all of them memories and them like cool moments of your life stored up, I think it's a no-brainer personally, you know?
100%. And also,
I like that you look at it that way, as a a process over like just creating, because that's literally what it is. Like I've always thought of it that way. It's like you can look where you've come from, where you are now, and it's such a journey. And I always look back at my old videos and just I hate them. I want to delete them, but it shows you that progress, right? So it's a good thing. I like that you do that.
Absolutely, and you kind of change as a person and all, and you think like it's different headspaces, you know, like where I think about like. Because I can remember what I was thinking when I made one of them first videos, and I'm like, why did I think like that? You know, it's so weird. It's such a weird place to be. But Chris, I remember I always thought you lived in the UK from the start, and I was like, yes, we've got another British filmmaker. Come on, it ain't just me and Philip Bloom. Like Philip Bloom's such a legend. I feel like I watched him when I was about 10. You know,
so did I.
He's such a legend. And then I thought, yes, Chris is in the mix. All of a sudden, turns out Chris don't even live in the UK, and I'm stuck here.
Everyone is in Canada, James. Everyone is in Canada.
Bang out of order, mate.
You know, Tausif, isn't that great that in today's episode we have these beautiful British accents? That there are two of them now.
Oh, it's
not amazing. Only one. Yeah.
And by the end of the episode, I can almost guarantee you my accent is going to slowly come out a little bit more, as it always does when I start talking to British people.
I want to apologise for anyone who's got to listen to me for the next hour. So, sorry about that.
James, how much of your time now is split between, like, because I know you do a big portion of your time is spent to client work, but like, what's your like YouTube client work split right now?
Right now, it's very different to what it was in 2018 because of obvious reasons, which is a bit of a shame. But mate, I'd say right. I'll kind of split it up. 2019, I'd say it was about 60 to 70% client work, 30% YouTube stuff. Now it's slowly evolved to the point where it's closer to 50-40 YouTube. So, sorry, not 50-40, that don't make sense. What am I doing with the other 10% of my time?
Just nothing.
Yeah, just in the abyss. So I'd say it's about 60-40. So 60% YouTube, 40% client work now. But it's trying to be a lot more clever with client work now in terms of where are my long-term client relationships, not just kind of picking up little bits of clients here and there. Because when you work with clients, it's that relationship of, they're giving me the work, but I want my work to allow their business to flourish just because I've got a long-term relationship with them. They're a friend. I want their business to do well. And also it helps me in the long run because if my client is doing very well business-wise, and I'm delivering them good work, it's a no-brainer for them to keep using me for longer and longer. So it's kind of this like partnership, whereas if a brand new client pops up, if it's the right job and I'm invested in the idea and the budget's right and everything, then I'll probably take it on. But at the end of the day, one of my loyal clients who I've been with since like 2015, for example, are definitely going to get priority because I care about them, they care about me, they supported me from the start. But I'd say it's about 60-40 at the moment.
That's pretty.
And are you happy with that, like the way that is, or would you rather spend more time on client work, or would you rather spend more time on YouTube? Like, I'm always interested when people do kind of both. Yeah,
I would say I like a balance of the two. I like the chaos of working with clients and having very serious deadlines, having a very high standard. Even though I try to give it my 100% standard on YouTube as well, I don't think there's any point not giving you 100% standard on YouTube. I like having that kind of that chase of making sure your client's happy from the start, them giving you the idea that they want, then you guys coming up with the pre-production, working as a team. Because at the end of the day, YouTube is very much, for me anyway, it's different for other people.
Right.
It's very much like a one-man band or one-person band, like all together, you know. So so for me, I like to work as a team sometimes, and when you win as a team, there's no better feeling than like being like, yes, mate, we smashed this, rather than saying to myself, yes, mate, you smashed this. It's like, that's cool.
You actually got someone to celebrate it with.
Exactly. So that's cool.
Except, of course, when you're talking to yourself on these quarantine videos, right?
Yes, exactly. And it happens all the time. I'm in the edit like, yes, mate, that was sick. Well done. But no, there's nothing better than winning with someone, you know?
You know, being a
sense.
creator in Europe, something that's whenever we have the chance to have a creator from Europe, we are away from the things, and we saw that you have been to Las Vegas, right? And the conferences. How was the experience traveling to the US, meeting with other creators on our knees? How was the feelings that I want to live as well in the future if COVID ends?
So good, mate, because it's in the UK, our scene, as it were, isn't as big as the US. It's like pretty much every industry, but so many of my new friends that I've made because of YouTube, because of being online, they all live in the States. So, like, for example, like probably my closest friends are like in the YouTube space, like Josh Morgan from Momentous Productions. It's Momentum, but we all take the piss out of him for that. Kitty, you know, Atola Visuals, her boyfriend Brian. So the three of us, I'll usually come over to the States. We'll go to NAB in Vegas. Obviously, we'll go out, have a bit of fun in Vegas, because I'm not coming all the way over to Vegas and not having a banging time. Like,
it's Vegas. You have to.
My mates would tear me apart if I just said, I just went to a conference and I didn't go and have a bit of fun. So yeah, we go out, we have a good time. We travel down California and the West Coast and whatever for a few weeks. But there's no better feeling than going to that like hub that is NAB or whatever conference it might be, and just walking around and seeing loads of people you watch online. Like, that is just such a cool feeling. And everyone's like really hyped, and it's so cool to like actually speak with people that you've got a similar passion with. And what's the word when you're like, you know what I mean, when everyone's just into the same thing, basically. Because in the UK, especially where I'm from, I don't really know that many people that are into the YouTube space and that really do that much. So when you actually go and meet people in real life that are just on your level, it's just so cool.
Would it be great, though, to have a gear review with Philip Bloom and James Matthews at the same time? Like a movie, the 4 hours movie.
Oh, that would be nice. Yeah. Nice long one.
That geezer's got the biggest amount of patience to make a video for like 4 hours long. Like, you watch his videos and you just think, like, how many hours has he put into this video? Like, and that's what makes Philip Bloom's videos so good, you know. But I would love to do something with Philip one day. If he'd like to do it with me, I don't know. But we'll maybe one day I'll have that conversation with him. Mate, even just grabbing a beer with him would be pretty cool. He's such a cool bloke.
Have you ever visited Athens, Greece? Or Greece
I haven't visited. I've visited Greece. Yeah, I've done
Mykonos?
A bit of, no, not Mykonos, but I'm trying to get out there this year if the COVID heavens allow us to. I went to Crete last year, but I've done a few of the little islands. I've never been to mainland Greece, which I'm pretty gutted about, so I do need to.
Perfect, because whenever you come, you know that's an open invitation that I usually do on the podcast. Whenever you come, because
every week, without fail.
Every week,
guys, James is a person who introduced me to Themba. Don't know if you know Themba. You know who is Themba?
No,
I know Themba.
Okay, after the podcast, search who is Themba. And he was the guy who introduced me to this DJ. And I'm sure that Mykonos with Super Paradise and electronic music is going to be something that we are going to forget you there for 4 days.
Yes, mate. Yeah. So like Themba is obviously, he's an African producer, and he plays sometimes in Mykonos, like Scorpios or a venue like that, because Black Coffee played there. I think he played in 2019, done a really famous Sunset set, and he's always playing a load of Themba's sets. And I've seen Black Coffee in Ibiza. And yeah, listen, if you get me talking about techno and electronic music, it will go down a different path. So maybe we should try and keep it.
That's the whole purpose. That's the whole purpose of this podcast. You know,
all right, cool.
We are a podcast that a lot of times people think, okay, they will have YouTube creators, but a lot of times the conversation goes a little bit different than the road of how did you start your YouTube channel? It was a good idea.
Yeah, we try and stay away.
We try to
from
keep
that
it like a conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very obvious, James, that you love that kind of music, because it's in all of your work, and I actually really enjoy that. I'm not into it nearly as much as you are, but like I can appreciate it because nobody else puts that kind of music into their videos like you do.
Yeah.
And like your playlist on Spotify, like that is literally a playlist I edit to all the time, or if I'm shooting B-roll, like
banging.
It's a good playlist. So no, I appreciate that you put that music in there, and you're one of the few people that does.
Yeah, cheers. It's like, for me, I like a lot of people meditate, right? And I find for me that the way that I find myself in that essentially like mindful state is when I go to an event or I listen to music and stuff like that. That's why I try to, whenever I can. Obviously, it hasn't been great like the last year or so. I try to go to these events. I'm really lucky that I live really close to London. I can literally be in central London in like an hour, and I can go to some of like the maddest events. We've got really good venues like Printworks, Tobacco Docks. We've got the Drum Sheds. We've got Village Underground. We've got these really, and we've got Fabric, obviously, these really iconic spaces. And some of the music that comes out of the UK, especially in the house and techno scene, is absolutely unbelievable. And the crowd is really good, and we've got really, really good like culture when it comes to that kind of music. And for me, that's where I'm in my like most meditative states, like being at one of them places. And like without a doubt, that kind of music is easily my biggest inspiration for stories, for films, because that kind of music, it's hard to you can't really explain it, and like it just gives me a certain feeling, and then my mind goes down a rabbit hole on trying to come up with an idea for a story or a film. That's what, like, a lot of pieces of music have influenced stories and stuff in my films, without a doubt.
Do you start by...
It's a bit noisy. There's someone outside doing something. No, it's all right. It's not too bad.
Everything okay?
Yeah, all sweet.
I was going to ask you, were you always interested in this kind of music, like that specific, or is this like recent? Like,
I wasn't really. I think like 2015, when I went to my very first kind of, techno event in. It's not even really techno. I guess it's closer to. It's closer to like. Yeah, it's not. It's a bit closer to R&B. I went to a festival in Croatia called Hideout Festival. That was my first
single guy in Croatia.
Yeah, I was.
Oh, mate,
full squad. We had full squad out there. So we were like 10 fellas deep. We had a few of the girls there, which was really cool. Some of our mates from home, and that was my first like experience having like being around that energy and that like that progressive beat that is kind of techno and house. And it for me, it resembles like a heartbeat. It's a constant beat, and then everything else around that kind of changes the feeling. That's kind of the foundation, and then around that is kind of, it can take you on a serious journey just by listening to music. It's crazy.
That's amazing.
So yeah, that was the first time I really got exposed to it. But I used to really be into like dubstep and all that, but that stuff's just a bit too crazy.
Yeah.
And all over the place. I need something a little bit more formal, you know.
James,
when you create a video, do you choose the song first or you choose the song after?
A lot of the times I'll choose the song first. So
Perfect.
when it comes to storyboarding, I'll storyboard to the track. So it obviously depends on what project it is. Not every project has a piece of music in it, but there might be a specific track that influences a story. Therefore, I have to use that track, and I will go through hell messaging labels and companies to try and get the rights to use a specific track for a video. And then I will do my storyboarding. I'll draw out all of my shots, my shot list, even like the timings of each beat in the track to try and make sure that it fits in the right place. And then, so 99% of the time, I'll choose the track first.
So that's a pre-production, right, of a video, like every second of the video.
Mate, I feel this is going to sound a bit. This is going to sound a little bit not arrogant, but I don't know what the word is. But it's not going to sound very nice. I honestly think the whole filming process it's just like labour work. It's quite easy. It's the hard part is getting your idea ready, getting the tory right, finding a way that each shot is actually going to make the audience feel a certain way.
Yeah.
That for me is the hard part. That is so hard. Once I know what shots I want to get, I know how to get them now because I know how to use cameras. I know how to pick the right lenses to give the right look. I know now how to light a certain scene to make it look exactly how I want it to look. It's actually the pre-production that's the hard part for me.
100%. Like that stuff can be replicated too, right? Like you could ask somebody to go get those specific shots, but putting that together in your mind, that's unique to you.
Yeah, exactly, and that's why I love this game so much, and why I appreciate other people's work that's so incredibly different to mine. Like, the way I look at it is, I really don't give a crap if people watch one of my films and they just don't feel it. As long as I can feel what I've made, and I'm happy knowing that what I saw up here is now there on the screen, exactly how I saw it here. That's all that matters to me. And I know there will be a small percentage of people that will feel it the same way that I feel it. But when I see someone else's work, I might not feel it the first time around, and then I try and think about their work a slightly different way, and I'm like, I get it. That works so sick. And I also just really appreciate other people's work that I don't get. I'm like, they must get that. That's so cool. That's so cool that they've got a different perspective from me. So that's the kind of way I think about it.
James, a video like the ones that you've created for the laptops that you made.
Yeah.
Okay. Usually, how many days of, let's cut pre-production, production, and editing take?
Right, so
the
if you're going to go... Yeah, so let's go off of the... Yeah, so that was for an NVIDIA... that's for an NVIDIA gig. So that recent one, Creative Without Limitations, where we had like the windmill in the background and we kind of combined the shoot with the edit. I'd say pre-production, that probably took me anywhere between like 6 days to 6 to 10. I don't actually know how long it took me, but probably took me about 6 days to a week, maybe, for pre-production. Shooting, I think we shot for about 4 days, with maybe a few like pickups of little cutaways and whatever of little keyboards, and because there's quite a lot going on in that particular film. And then the edit, I'd say, probably took me about close to a week to get it right. On them kind of videos, I edit for a very long time. Initially, it's very easy because I've got my storyboard. I know that shot goes there, that shot goes there. So it's literally just like putting a puzzle together. And then after that, it's actually making sure that everything flows, because just because you see it up here doesn't mean it's always going to replicate perfectly in the edit. So then you slightly compromise on certain shots. Maybe one shot's a little bit longer than another one or whatever. And then it's obviously the grade and the sound design. And I spend way too long on grading and sound design, man. I just get stuck. I'm like, no, that's not right. And then I'll go back and I'll go back and I'll go back and I'll grade it till I've graded it too much, then I'll ungrade it.
Hashtag color grade and chill.
I'll just sort that.
Will you will you watch, like you'll finish it and then you'll leave it? Or will you literally finish it, export it, it's good to go? Will you like watch it like a couple of days later just to see?
No, usually I'll export it and it's good to go.
Okay.
But usually it will be, I'll try to export it, then I'll try to export it again, because I'm on Premiere for anyone who don't know. Like
19 crashes later.
Yeah, thank God I don't have any affiliation to Adobe, because I wouldn't be the best promoter for Adobe. But yeah, they're just, I just haven't, I really hope Premiere Pro can sort itself out, because I've been using the platform for like 10 years, but my God, it is just laggy, cutty.
Have you ever tried DaVinci? I'm not going to say for Final Cut, but have you ever tried DaVinci? Especially
I have,
for grading?
Yeah. I have, and I like it a lot. I need to bite the bullet, spend an entire week on on DaVinci, and just get myself in it, you know. And then once I get it, I'm like, boom, I can go from here. But at the moment, I'm struggling to invest that initial week of just getting stuck in and learning something new. I'm too stubborn to move over from what I know, like inside out, you know.
Yeah, because you're working with blind eyes, as we say, right? This is exactly my point of view with Final Cut. Like, I can work in Premiere, I can work in DaVinci, not just like Final Cut. So I'm saying, okay, next month or in 2 months, when I get a black magic that I never did.
No, mate, I'm so jealous of people that use Final Cut, because I just know that your workflow is like butter. You just sit in there.
You can't even imagine. Like kids.
Any specific reason why you're not considering it? Is it just that initial investment, or is it never on the table?
Well, the thing is, I've got DaVinci literally on my computer here right now, but it's because I know Premiere Pro so well, and I've just been using it. Like, I've been using it for 10 years, and it's just very hard for me to move away from it and try something new. It's like, I know what I want to do with my shots. I just can't use these tools to do what I need to do. Whereas on Premiere, I don't even think about it because I know them so well. So I will eventually just bite the bullet and go, right, DaVinci, I'm having some of you, and I'm just going to spend a week just doing it. Or Premiere Pro will hopefully sort themselves out, level out, and be stable. And that day, I will absolutely cry to the gods. But yeah, no, so that's the situation really, but who knows? Maybe you never know, 2 weeks from now I might be on it. If I pull my finger out.
James,
There'll
you know
never
what
be a good
video?
time.
Yeah, you just got to bite the bullet. But you know what video that I saw of yours where because I hadn't discovered you until this video, and when I saw this video, I was blown away. It was that space travel one where there's that kid on the desk. My goodness, the color grades, the music, how everything it came together, and then that blast off at the end. Oh, I was like, man, this is quality production. Like, this was really good. I think that sort of work, seeing on YouTube, I hadn't seen a lot of stuff like that before, but that was incredible, man.
Oh, thanks so much. Yeah, I've really enjoyed doing that. That little boy is actually my little cousin. His name's George. And he was, I think, that's like nearly 2 years ago. I think that might have been 2 years ago, like to this month almost. And yeah, so that I literally shot that on the A7S Mark II. And that particular film was just all about... the whole reason I think that film was as good as it was is because of the design and the everything in the mise en scène. So the set, the set, the clothes and the like costume, everything in front of the frame, I think I got right. So it was quite hard for me to go wrong behind the camera, you know. So the film was already made in front of the frame. It's just now capturing it. But yeah, that film was literally storyboarded shot for shot, and I just love making that film, man. It's partly inspired by Interstellar, Hans Zimmer, kind of them. But that film was just feelings that I had.
The road to the unknown, right?
Exactly, and it brought back feelings from when I was like a little boy, just this imagination of space and like, you know, when you're so young, you just
okay. Now you said something very, very, very important. What would you say if you have the opportunity to talk to the James kid? What would you say?
If I had an opportunity to talk to him, I'd what would I say to him? I'd say, just don't listen to anyone else. Just do what you want to do when you want to do it. As long as you're not affecting anyone else, just do what you want to do. Because where I'm from, like, I guess it's the same in a lot of places. It's very obvious what you're meant to do here. You're meant to go to
study.
But I guess it's the most cliche thing to say ever. But it's so true. Like, even with all my mates, like, big up my mates, by the way, they're all legends. But it's like, just go to school, then try to pay off your mortgage by the time you retire, and that's it. Like, do me a favour, mate. Like, this planet's so beautiful, man.
Yeah.
This planet is so beautiful. There's so many places to go, so many things to see, and so many friends to make you don't even know are there. Like you lot right here, you know, we're having a conversation with people I've never met before, but I know most of you for just being online, and I'm in the space. And then one day we will meet up. We'll probably travel somewhere sick. We'll probably drink some beers and do something. You're like, what are we doing? This is so cool. So I'd just say to him, look, mate, just stay curious. That's it.
That's stay curious.
I like that.
That's a motto that I believe a lot of people lose the meaning of life, you know? And especially with these times that we're living right now, we saw how important is living our lives, how important is to live the moments that usually we say, okay, we can do that tomorrow, we can do that in the weekend. And suddenly you don't have any fucking freedom. You're inside your house and you say, what is going on right now? Like, I can't go travel.
Yeah,
I can't
it's
go.
Mental. Yeah, and you just can't believe the things you used to be able to do, you know?
Exactly. Exactly.
So, yeah, I just want to make sure that, like, no matter what happens. I'd also tell him to try and invest as much as you can early on. Like, not that I really want to go down, like, talking about money too much, but, like, and it's only really been, like, the last few years that I've really learnt about, like, what to do with money that you earn, because if you instead of just trying to earn money to pay for things, try and earn money so that money grows for you not doing anything, you know, trying to invest in the right things. And I think that's really important for creators. I don't think a lot of creators go over this topic too much. So, because obviously you always hear this phrase of like a struggling artist or a struggling creator. And I think if creators were to invest properly, it would open up them creatively so much more, because they'd have a little bit more, they wouldn't be rushing for the next dollar all the time, you know. So yeah, and it doesn't matter what the right investment is for you at the time. Just find a way for your money to do the work for you. That's what I'm trying to do all the time at the moment, just trying to find ways where I can worry less about the next dollar, so I can be more open to creating what I want to create, not trying to create for the dollar. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It's a very important thing.
Yeah, and I don't think it's just creators. It's just generally, it's not something that's taught in schools and stuff. Like,
except you, accountant. Except you.
No, even for me, right? Like, I went to accounting school, right? But they never taught you, like, they taught you, like, how to manage money for, like, businesses and stuff like that. But there was no real, like, oh, how do I budget on, you know, to run a household? How do I, you know, do all that? Like, those actual life skills were never really taught, right? Even in accounting school. And it just blows my mind, because I'm learning about, like, calculus, algebra, and all these things where I'm sure some people use it in their careers, where day in my life, I've never used that. Right, and it's like these skills are
Tausif, wait a minute.
For life.
It's very easy. You said how you can get budget for household. You get married. End of story.
Yeah. Okay.
You have your wife. You don't have money anymore.
Yeah. Have a couple kids, and bam, you're done, man.
Cut in half even more. Yeah.
There you go,
James.
But that's where it goes back to what James was saying earlier. It's like, when those things happen, I like the phrase like life happens, because those things will inevitably happen for a lot of people, but you've got to continue to do things that you want to do when those things happen. And I think that's what you were saying earlier, James. A lot of people just kind of like, that's it now. I'm done.
Yeah, mate, 100%. So I think if you can find a way to just make it sustainable for you to keep doing the things that you love doing, like I hope that most people don't even have to think about, I need to do the things I love. I hope they're just doing it, you know, like without, because you'll probably find like the time when you're most happy is when you're doing things without thinking about doing it. You're just in it, you know, you're riding that wave whilst you're doing it, and you're having so much fun you forget to stop and think. I think that's the best place that I would like to always try and stay in if I can.
100%. And you know what holds a lot of people back is like feeling uncomfortable, right? And I think you hit the nail on, like you hit the nail on its head. It's like you got to get out of your comfort zone in order to actually pursue these things, right? And I think that's where it inhibits a lot of people.
Absolutely, and that comes down to a lot of projects as well. There's been so many, especially when you start out, because you'll take here, there, and everything. You'll take any project, you know, just to try and get a project that you're on. And there was so many projects where I was like, I do not want to do this project. Like, I so badly don't want to do this project. And you go, but you know what? I'll just do it. You end up doing it. And on the way to the shoot, you're like, I shouldn't have taken this shoot. You do the shoot, you do the edit, and you're like, fucking hell, that was good. Like, that was decent. I met new people that I thought were going to be a nightmare. They weren't. They were actually really good. The project came out great. The client's happy. Like, come on, why did you put yourself down so much like that? Why did you not want to take this project? And then ever since then, after doing a few of them projects, I'm so more. I don't feel like I'm being held back by anything. I look at things and I'm like, I don't want to do that. But remember all the times I said I didn't want to do that, and then it turned out to be sick, so I'll take the punt. You know, some of them don't work, but
some of them will.
Most of them, most of them will. Yeah. And then the more of those you do, you'll learn the tricks to say yes or no to different people, because that maybe the client will approach you a certain way, or they'll say something very funny about the budget that you've picked up on before that didn't work out. I'm sure a lot of people get them kind of DMs, you know. So yeah, it's a learning curve, and you've just got to just take it, man. Just take the jobs and see how you get on at first, and then after that, you'll learn the process.
Such words of wisdom.
You, James. Yeah, I gotta ask you. So, not a lot of people might know that you are the original creator of B-roll, like those B-roll videos.
The cinematic B-roll.
The cinematic B-roll. That's the one.
The epic B-roll.
How was that journey, like that process of putting that out and then seeing literally like the internet go crazy over it, and then like a whole bunch of other people kind of taking that on and going viral with it? What was that journey like? What was that process like?
So the very first time that we ever done that was I was actually in San Francisco staying at Kitty's house.
Right?
Yeah, I was staying with Kitty and Brian at their place in San Francisco. Big up them two, by the way. It's just such legends. So yeah, we were staying there. And I was doing a few little collaborations with Kitty, and I think we had a little bit of time before I had to go and get my flight. I think we had like 4 or 5 hours, and for me to then fly back to the UK. And Brian, which is Kitty's boyfriend, he said, "Oh, I'm going to make us like a pesto." I can't remember what it was. It might have been like a pesto sandwich or pasta, whatever. And I was like, "Oh, cool. I'll film it as part of I'll film it as like part of our vlog." So I just filmed it in a way that I film a lot of things, like especially at the time. I don't really film things as much like that anymore, but I just filmed it in a very creative way, and done a little behind the scene. Well, Kitty recorded the behind the scenes. I didn't even expect to put out the BTS. Just filmed it, and everyone went mad over it, and they thought it was sick. Which, like at the time, like it was pretty cool. And then nothing happened. Like, yeah, great. That video might have got like, I don't know, 4K views, whatever. And then I was struggling, like this is a true story, I was actually struggling for content. I was sitting there like, I haven't put out a video for like a week and a half. So I text Kitty just saying, "Kitty, have you still got all that behind the scenes from when we shot Brian's stuff?" She said, yeah, cool, so I'll send it over to you. So she sent it over to me, and I put it together, not thinking it. I thought, like, no one's going to bloody watch this. It's just like me fucking around in the kitchen with Brian, you know? I put it online. It went absolutely mad. I'm like, why have people enjoyed this so much? And then, yeah, after that, I guess it caught a bit of wind. Other people started uploading it, started doing like brilliant things with it. It went like kind of viral online. And yeah, people just took that idea and made it their own, I guess, in different ways. And yeah, it was pretty interesting. That I guess I could have utilised that a bit more and maybe benefited just by doing B-roll videos.
That's a good question. Why did you stop? Why did you stop creating, for example?
Because I didn't want to do any more of them.
Perfect.
But anyway, go on.
It's not interesting.
Okay.
I didn't want to, like, don't get me wrong, that was cool at the time. I was like, yeah, great. I've just done like a epic B-roll video. But then because I wanted to do that for the scene that we were there for, I didn't really want to kind of sit around going, right, what can I do an epic B-roll of this week? What can I do an epic B-roll? Because that isn't what I want to do. If I find something I want to film, I'm going to then film it that way. But I don't know. I feel like I'd done the epic B-roll. We done it twice, so we done it again the following year as like a bit of an annual thing, you know. But I just thought I just didn't want to do it anymore. But it was really cool to see other people take it and do their own thing with it. So yeah, it's cool to see that kind of handheld style live on, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what's funny is that I think I'm pretty similar to you when it comes to that. It's like sometimes if you actually want to do good on YouTube, like the answer is right there. Like you look at your history, what did well, and you kind of replicate that. But I just don't want to do it. Like it's just that idea is just like maybe I just don't feel like doing it anymore. And people are like, man, if you do that same video, you're gonna like, you know, it's really gonna make you blow up, or like, you know, you're gonna do well. But it's just if you're not feeling it, you're not feeling it.
Exactly, and I constantly want to evolve. Like, say for example, I just kept doing B-roll videos. Like, it's just
you would be the Mr. B-roll, the Mr. B-roll,
yeah,
right?
Exactly, and that's cool. That's fine if you want to be Mr. B-roll. But I like after that, it was like cool. I'd done that, and then I wanted to like start like the color grading chill. So I wanted to do something a little bit different there, and like. And yeah, so I'm trying to just create something I've never created before, essentially. If I've done something before, I don't personally see any reason for me to do it again unless I really have passion for a certain reason to do that again, or there's a new story I want to film in a certain way. But I want to constantly do something new. Whatever's on my mind at the time, I want to utilise that and do that, you know. So yeah, that's, I guess,
something that I want to point on this podcast. Because you don't do often guest appearances podcast, right?
It depends if you ask Chris or not.
You have a clothes brand that a lot of people don't know.
Yeah.
And I remember that I have found out in the internet it's the Create, right?
Yeah.
We've seen a lot of Create. Did you guys know that? Tausif, Chris?
No, I didn't.
T-shirts and hoods that you see that right create here. It's
Just like
can
one
go- I
word
can
on
go
a
grab
hoodie,
one.
right?
it's
I've
James.
seen people wear those.
That's
Yeah,
James
I've
brand.
Those.
I'll quickly go and grab one. Hold on. I've got one over here. So here's one of them. I should have worn it for this, really, but yeah. I'll put it in... Wait, because we're doing Zoom on here, but this is the one people see. So, yeah, simple. Just, I wanted to keep it nice and simple. It just says create on it. Mm-hmm. Boom. And it's the same on
like that.
T-shirts. It's like...
When did you start?
I think I've started this brand about must have been 2018 now. Do you want me to go into why I started it?
Yeah,
Do it,
please.
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I remember being on YouTube for I think I was doing it for about a year. And I was in this weird space of, I wanted to be more professional on YouTube because I didn't know, right, who's actually watching my videos? Are my clients watching my videos? Are prospective clients watching my videos? Shit, I need to kind of be a bit more like formal and like present myself as someone that someone would want to hire instead of just being myself and just having a bit of fun on YouTube, which is what I think you should do. So I thought to myself, right, I need to, I don't know what to wear in my YouTube videos. Do I wear we call them in the UK a shit shirt. Do you lot know what a shit shirt is? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I didn't know whether to, because I used to wear them all the time, just shit shirts, and I used to wear them in my YouTube videos. I was like, I want to come up with an idea for a t-shirt, and I just had this idea of it just saying create, really small, really simple, and it kind of plays on that phrase, you know, Nike's phrase, just do it. And I got the same kind of feelings off of this word, just the word create. And the actual brand is called Search and Create, so because that tied in with searching the world, traveling, you know, just this global idea with the word create on it, and it's done really well. Loads of people rock it, which is so cool. I do want to take it a bit further in the future. I've got some really cool ideas for it with like events, meetups. I actually want to find ways where we can like connect people with other people with the brand. But yeah, I started that in 2018, and it's done pretty well, man. And I just
So
enjoy it.
after COVID ends, you have these plans, right? To expand it with the meetups, the Search and Create. And also we will have link in the description of the video and to the podcast for the website.
Yeah,
for people who don't know.
Yeah, exactly. If anyone don't know, get to know. You should go and check it out. It's actually decent clobber.
So James, do you wear those when you? Let me backtrack a little bit. So when you go to shoot
Don't ask him.
gigs
Don't
now-
ask him. Okay, I thought he was
What
gonna
did he say?
do you wear these when you go? He made a
Yes,
pose. Okay,
because that's always something I toy with. When you go to a client job, it's like, well, honestly, like I want to be who I am and I want to wear what I want to wear. I don't want to dress up in something that I'm not wearing just to come and look professional. So do you wear like whatever you want when you go to your client jobs now, or you wear your brand?
That's a very interesting thing to say. I have done this from the start, and I think I'll do it forever. I will adapt to the environment that I'm going into. So back in the day, I used to do lots of jobs for banks in London. I used to do loads of corporate gigs. I've probably done about 2 or 3 of them a week.
Suits?
Sorry?
Rock up in a
Suits?
hoodie.
Not. I wasn't suited and booted. I wasn't suited and booted, but I would wear like a shirt, trousers, and then either smart trainers or shoes. Looking back at it now, it was well over the top, but I thought that was the right thing to do. But I will still do that now. I will adapt to the environment I'm going into because I don't want to stand out too much in that environment.
Right.
I don't want the attention to be on me. I just want to blend in and do my job while I'm there, especially if it's for a client piece. Like the day isn't about me. The day's about getting the job done. And especially if you're doing lots of corporate stuff, you usually work in working environments. So you'll go to a bank, there'll be lots of desks, there'll be lots of people, but you'll find a room to do your interviews and stuff like that. So I don't really want to rock up looking like I've just, I don't know, going to a PE lesson or something. Yeah, exactly. So, but I don't think there's anything wrong with doing that if you've got the right kind of relationship with the client and you're doing great work. But just for me, I try to mirror the environment I'm going into. But don't get me wrong, if there's going to be like a scuba diving video, I'm not going to turn up with flippers on. But you get the point. I try to. Yeah, exactly. I try to replicate or mirror the environment I'm going into, so that I don't make the people on set or anyone else feel like I'm standing out too much, and they feel a little bit more comfortable around me.
Just imagine James being in Ibiza in a party with a gig for filming the club.
Mate, that's when the shit shirts come out.
He shows up in like those like robotic things where it shoots like.
Well, the gas canisters come out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Chris, what do you wear for weddings when you film weddings?
So weddings
That's a
is
good
normally
question.
an exception for me. I'll wear dress pants and I'll dress like a guest. Exactly what James is saying. Like I want to pretend that I'm a guest because again, you don't want to stand out because normally you're stood up when other people are sat down, that kind of thing. But yeah, dress pants and a shirt. That's like the only time you'll see me wearing a shirt.
Yeah, you want to try. You want to try to wear black as much as you can, mostly when you go, because definitely when you're doing weddings, Chris will know. But it's you don't want anyone. You want to blend into the crowd, you know. So and especially if you're doing like on production things, you have to wear black when it comes to productions on stages and things like that. So a lot of times I also do quite a few recordings of like live sessions and things like that, like musician sessions, maybe some DJ sets, whatever. So a lot of them times you want to try and stick to the production, what the production team will be wearing, and it will usually be just all black.
And I'll give you a prime example of why that matters. So yesterday I shot like a real estate tour with one of my friends who's a real estate agent, and it's one of the ones where they're walking around, they're introducing stuff and whatever. And normally I wear what I want because it's my buddy, like he's fine with it. And I wore a hoodie that had a massive Adidas logo written on it, which normally wouldn't be a problem if it was just a real estate tour. But because I was walking by windows now and then, if I just wearing black, it wouldn't have been an issue. But the white logo, you can see the reflection in the window, and that's exactly why you have to wear just black. So I had to cut all around that and add B-roll over the top of it. But yeah, that's why you wear black.
So true. That's so true. It's funny you say Adidas as well, because I done a shoot last week for Adidas actually, for their golf, like part of their golf stuff. And when you work for Adidas, I'm not sure if anyone else has done links with them, but you have to wear Adidas. It's very strange. Actually, I don't know if I should. From what I've heard, and I've done this because I don't know if it's actually in writing, but I think you get very much frowned upon if you work for that kind of brand and you don't wear their products. Because I know loads of people in the industry that have worked with them, because I've spoke to them on set and whatever, and they're like, yeah, you do know you have to wear Adidas. And like, thank God I've got.
That's a great tip, though. Imagine going to Adidas with Nike, right? It would be funny. It would be
exactly. They wouldn't be too happy, would they? So, but yeah, I would try to be. It is a really important thing, because first impressions are really important when it comes to clients, because you don't know what someone else is thinking. If you can try and get their thoughts off of who you are and what you're wearing and whatever, and just focus on doing your job to the best of your ability, and it comes down to the way you're dressing as well. For me, I just try to mirror where I am, and just try and take the focus off of you. That's it. Like you're there to do a job.
Any tips to creators that are listening right now and they would dream to land a job like Adidas for a client or brands like this?
Yeah, you need to get yourself in that space. Like if you've only done corporate work for banks, for example, like me, how are companies like that going to reach out? Why would they reach out to you? There's no reason they'd reach out to you. So just try and find a way to get yourself in that space, make work in that space. So for example, if it is Adidas, something a bit more sportswear based, try and create some sportswear branded content, you know, and obviously do it to the best of your ability.
Even spec ads.
Yeah, exactly. So just try, if you want to get into a specific area, a specific space, you have to be creating the content that would be in that space so that people can then fish you out, you know?
Yeah.
That's that's the best advice I could give for that.
And a lot of people don't like this as advice, but I kind of feel like if you're trying to get into an area where you've never done it before, you should do stuff for free. Just my personal opinion, but what do you think on that, James?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So the way I look at it is all of my best jobs that I've ever got now, if I kind of go back on the web, a lot of them started from a piece of work I've done for free. So, like for example, that Adidas gig I just spoke to you about, the reason I'm with that particular client is because the client that was the contact of that client that was the contact of that client. I done job for free for them. Then someone else, client A, saw that. Great. I then worked for client A. Then client B saw the work I done for client A. So it's for me, I think it's so important when you first start out. Because if you want, especially if you want to get into a space, get out there and make work. Like approach brands and say, look, I've got a really cool idea for a product that you've got. I'd love to shoot you a promotional video. I'd love to do it for you free of charge. I know not everyone can do this. We've all got to make dough to get by. But it's if you're in that position where you can and you're passionate about an idea you've got for a brand, do it. And they're gonna, if you do a great job, they're gonna be like, bloody hell, like that person really put themselves out there and they do great work. It's a no-brainer for them to work with you if they think your work's great. You know, try and find that client's details online and try and find out what work they maybe have produced on, or some work that they've worked on campaigns, and see what worked well, and then try and implement some of that work into yours, because you're like targeting them with your work for them to hire you almost. So I used to do a lot of that. I used to research who I want to target, what kind of work they've done previously with other shooters or other producers in the past, and then try and do something to a similar aspect. And then they'll be like, blimey, this is a new avenue here. This person's really good. So yeah.
You know, this is very important, because what Chris said and you said right now is a lot of times people say that we shouldn't say to work for free, or you shouldn't send to a creator or a videographer and say, you know, I'm a big brand, do you want to work for me for free? Because this is not the process. The process is that the creator reaches out to the brand and says, I can do something for you. Would you like to see it? It's going to be for free, because that's a huge difference than from Adidas, for example, comes to James and say, hey man, we're Adidas, you want to work for us for free? That wouldn't work, right?
No, exactly. No, I'd mirror that big time, 100%.
Great advice.
Awesome. Should we do our quick fire round, Chris?
Let's go, Tausif. The stage is yours.
Hold up, hold on.
We haven't asked any of them. Normally we get to this point.
We haven't.
Well, let's do the quick fire round.
I had to hold myself
one
back.
left.
I had to hold myself back.
I was seeing your face. You were red.
Yeah. I was like ready to go. Okay. You want to start it off? Who has it open?
You, Tausif, go.
Okay. I have it open in...
Can I do quick fire on you lot after?
Okay.
Do it.
2 cameras, 2 lenses. What are they and why?
2 cameras, A7S Mark III 16-35, because the most practical camera I've ever used in my life. 10-bit, it's great. Autofocus is absolutely banging. S-Cinetone's great. S-Log free, I love it. I love the form factor. Battery life is through the roof. Flip screen, bosh, done. Second camera, Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 6K Pro, dead blue tint on the screen. Come on, Blackmagic, sort that out. 18-35, Sigma lens to go with it. They're my 2 cameras and 2 lenses.
Okay.
Didn't say FX6.
Movies and TV shows you're watching right now.
Didn't say FX9.
He didn't say FX6.
I've got the FX6.
Oh, yeah.
We're rolling on the FX6 right here. Yeah, but
like
if I had to
in the world to have one.
No,
they're impossible to buy.
Yeah, but if I was stuck on a desert island, if you had phrased the question differently, I would have given you a different answer. They're all tools. I love the FX6 so much, but if I had to only have 2, I'd say the A7S Mark III is more versatile just because it's smaller.
Agreed.
But if I'm for my client work, I'm almost every single time I'm picking the FX6. It's a banging camera.
And don't forget, you build a whole YouTube channel and great content with the A7S too, right?
Exactly.
And the Canon lenses.
Yeah, my whole foundation comes from the world's cheapest Canon lenses and the A7S Mark II, which is beaten up
Good old
beyond...
nifty 50.
You didn't sell it, right? You didn't sell it?
No, I've still got it. It's chilling up there.
Perfect.
Do you want to see it?
Never sell it.
No.
Forever on a shelf.
No, I'll never ever sell it. I'll quickly show you.
Sentimental.
It's absolutely buggered. Like it's on its last legs. Does my autofocus work? Come on. There we go. Yeah, it's ruined.
Call that
it's
well-
such a good
well
I love the
used.
A7S Mark II so
But
much.
it's still working, right?
Yeah, it's growing
Not
diseases
sponsored
on it
by
at the
Sony.
moment.
It's still working.
Yeah, it's still working, mate. But it literally is growing like moss on it. It's just so dirt. It's disgusting. But,
Soon to be
COVID.
sold as an NFT.
oh, yeah, that's another conversation.
Yeah. Okay, next question. What movies or TV shows are you watching right now?
Believe it or not, I don't watch any TV shows at all. It's quite hard to believe. I haven't watched. If you was to, the only series I've ever watched was Prison. What's the
Prison
one?
Break.
Prison Break.
Prison Break. Yeah, that's the only one I've ever watched.
Not even
from
The
start to
Office
beginning.
UK?
No, none of them, mate. It is
Sherlock
really
Holmes?
poor.
Sherlock Holmes? No.
No, it's so poor from me, mate. I know everyone's very disappointed, but it is that is the situation. I just watch YouTube videos. That's it. I'm all over YouTube, and then outside of that, I'm just trying to create all the time. But
You don't have
I
time,
should,
right?
I should just sit down and just watch something. Go like, right, relax for a sec. Just watch this and be in this world for a second. I should do that more. Instead, I watch Josh Yo's. I watch Josh Yo's TV series. No, I could definitely find the time. I just find it hard to give up my time to watch something like that, even though I should, because it'd probably give me a lot of inspiration, you know? Like,
You feel like you should be
if
doing something else.
I feel like I should, yeah. But
Yeah.
but in hindsight, I'm not sure that I should, because I think it'd be good for me to sit down and actually watch something for an hour or two a day, you know? So yeah, I'm sorry that was the poorest answer, but
No,
I can tell you right
No,
now,
it's-
Josh Yo's his series are just so much better than any TV series I could watch. So I'd rather just
So
watch
true.
Josh's videos.
So true. Are you interested in football? Like, do you watch football?
I used to play. I actually used to be the captain of my team, Brentwood
Ah.
Sports FC. Bosh, what are you not saying?
What position? What
so-
position?
Centre mid.
Okay,
So,
number 10. Number 10.
Yeah, I was actually number 10. So I used to be number 8, then I was number 10 for my first team. But I don't watch football anymore. All of my mates, like my group chat, they're always chatting about, oh yeah, West Ham, Arsenal, Chelsea. And don't get me wrong, I love it. I'll go out for a day out with the boys and have a beer and whatever as and when I can do that. But I'm not massively into me football. Don't get me wrong, if England are playing, I'll be watching it without a doubt. Like it, every two sets of eyes in the UK are watching England when they play.
Yeah.
Pretty much all the pubs are packed. There's beer flying everywhere, and it is just great. So that football ish. I like it, but I don't
Let's
spend my
let's
whole
mention
weekend on
here the correct name, because I'm very happy we hear that. It's football, not soccer, right?
it. Yeah, football. Yeah, if you, so,
Cater to the audience.
yeah, exactly. I don't know what you people over in America and Canada like. You just don't get it, do
They
you?
don't know.
The
You just
experience
don't
in
get it.
England is so good for watching football. Like, I've literally flown home. This was like 4 or 5 years ago. I literally flew home for, I think it was the World Cup. Because just like the experience of being there when it's going on, like with everyone going to the pub, like there's nothing else like it. Nothing.
Yeah, it
Such a
is
good
mental.
experience.
It is absolutely mental. And you've got everyone's packed in these pubs, and it's just going mental. I've got so many memories of just like different times when everyone's packed out, and you don't even need to like football to have a good time. Like.
Nope.
I know we're in the pub, and there's a group full of like girls that you can just tell they don't care about the football, but they're just there for the energy, you know.
Energy.
And exactly,
Just
that's
to
it.
hug
And,
everybody and say, oh.
exactly, just to go, "Ooh," and everyone's had a beer and whatever, and just go, yeah, no, you're sick. So it's like that's it, and they're good
Okay,
moments.
fish
man.
and chips or pizza?
Fish and chips. Oh, I don't know. It's got It depends if it's a decent pizza or a decent fish and chips, because you can have a dead pizza and you can also get a dead fish and chips. But I would say if I had to, at the moment, fish and chips, I'm all about it. I've got such a good fish and chips near me, mate. Oh,
I remember
Good.
eating fish and chips. What is the Museum of Modern Arts? It's MoMA or something near a port in London.
Natural history.
like
I know the
near the
Museum of
river.
Modern Arts.
Yeah, and it has like a restaurant which is just top of the river of Thames, right? And they serve
mate,
the fish and
there's-
chip. It came a fish and chip like that, you know. And I was like,
Huge. Yeah, mate. No, there are some banging spots. Tell you what, best ever fish and chips I've ever had, mate. Scotland. I was on the Isle of Skye, this little port, and I literally watched like the little boat like turn up, and the geezer just chucked a load of fish over, and I went into the fish and chip shop that they took the fish in, and I just munched
Isle of
that.
Skye, yeah.
oh mate, just
How,
it
how is
melted in
how
your
is
mouth.
Scotland? How is Scotland? These places there.
Incredible, mate.
Incredible.
Scotland is levels. When you live in the UK, you just think, especially when you've got so much access to Europe. Like, we're so lucky in the UK, and I don't take it for granted at all. We're so lucky to just like nip Barcelona, like all these places for so cheap. EasyJet, Ryanair, all these companies do so cheap, such cheap flights. And you completely forget that you've got one of the most beautiful places on the world literally attached to the island you're living on, Scotland. And I went there for the very first time in 2018 and my mind was blown, and I completely realised why people travel from all over the world to turn up to the north of the UK. It's just absolutely stunning. Isle of Skye is just fucking beautiful.
I was going to come with my wife before the pandemic hit this year. We were planning to go to Isle of Skye, leaving the Highlands and Edinburgh and all the other places. But I was taking that even 14 days is not going to be enough. Like, this trip needs to be at least 2 to 3 weeks to go to Scotland and all the other, right?
Yeah, well, it depends. If you only really want to do the Highlands, I reckon you can do it in 2 weeks. Because I was up there for 10 days and we were shooting. But, mate, just don't go Scotland when it's raining. Like, just it pisses down all the time. I was there for 10 days and I think we got 4 days without it raining, and then 4 days were absolutely stunning. Like, if you just go in the summer, I personally wouldn't go in the winter unless it's snowing, because then you're not actually getting wet and it's still quite beautiful. Yeah. But the rain, just, oh man, I've never experienced rain like it in Scotland. I was ready to leave on day 4 when it was torrential, and I was like, no, come on, hold out. I was hodling for these last 6 days to, I know you'd laugh at that.
There you go. I love that terminology.
Yeah, me too, mate. It's on my to-do list, hodl forever. If you can hold out, just try and go when there's not any rain. I know it's easier said than done, but Scotland, when it's raining, is no good. Scotland, when it's sunny, is absolutely fucking sensational.
And that's from someone that lives in England, where it's just rainy all the time.
We've been lucky the last
this
few
year.
days.
We got the weather here in Greece. We got the weather of England. When I was
Really?
talking, it was sunny. All the year was sunny. The winter, you remember? And here in Greece, it was rain. It was raining all the day.
I came to Greece last year, man. It was so beautiful, mate.
You remember the sunny weather? It's gone. UK has it now.
You'll get it back. You'll get it
I'll
back.
take it, mate. I'll come over to you as soon as the weather comes back, all right?
100%.
I'll follow the weather.
100%. Okay, Tausif, ask him the question now that he mentioned pizza. Ask him, so we know.
Okay, pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay.
There you go. We got 2
Okay.
now.
Three.
I'll
got
back
2.
it, mate.
3 in a row. 3 in a
2
row.
in a row. You know
I'll
who
back
said
it.
that? You know who said the other one? Sydney Diongson said yes.
Yeah, I've spent some time with Sidders, and I think I can imagine him munching some pineapple on a pizza. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, there you go.
Going back to what you said earlier about watching, you don't watch a lot of movies and TV, but you watch a lot of YouTube. What are some channels that you watch outside of this whole niche that we're in?
Outside of this realm, that's very interesting. At the moment, going back to that whole investment thing, I really like Graham Stephan. Graham Stephan's got some really cool kind of investment info. I also like a guy in the UK called Joey D. His name is Joe Delaney. I've been following him for maybe 10 or 12 years. He does more lifestyle fitness, but I used to think I was similar to him in the fact that he was just a young lad vlogging his life. Just having a laugh, going to Ibiza, travelling around with some mates. And I used to look at it like, yes, my G, just having a laugh, just living your life. And I think that's why vlogs do so well, because you can follow people that you feel so relatable to. And there's also some people that you are so not relatable to like Yoon Olsen. I love Yoon Olsen's videos. His are amazing. Who else? Yeah, outside of the filmmaking space, I'm trying to imagine my subscription box. Oh, Ali Abdaal. Does anyone follow Ali Abdaal?
Yeah, he's good.
He's so cool. He followed me on Instagram the other day, so that's pretty cool. Cheers, Ali. That was a bit, that's going to go on the gravestone.
Top Gear.
Top
Any
Gear,
car stuff?
mate. Personally, I love Top Gear so much. Like, if I could choose any life ever, any generation, I would choose to be like James May or Richard Hammond, like when they first started their career. You know, when they do their specials and they just drive about and they just have a laugh and they purposely stitch each other up. I don't think there's a better laugh you can have.
Vietnam on motorbikes, like so good.
Yeah, that's how, like, because I went and done the Vietnam on a motorbike quite a few. I've done it twice now because of their Vietnam special, and it's just fucking incredible. And
Heck, I would even be the Stig. I'll be the Stig.
Exactly, take the Stig, mate. I'd take the Stig as well. So no, I think they've got the best job in the world.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Okay. Next question.
Who are you lot watching?
MasterChef.
MasterChef.
Oh, no way.
I love cooking and I love seeing, these recipes and how I can do. Also, I got like 15 kilos in the current.
Yeah, I can imagine
a lot of cooking.
Yeah, but like, I thought you lot just smashed plates all the time. I thought that was the deal. You just get the plate and you just wallop it on the floor. Is that not true?
No.
Opa!
Opa, eh?
I love that.
In Greece, the eating is something that we say it's like we gather, we need to have the drink. You saw that in Crete, right? We go out to restaurants or to go to taverna, right? And we stay there for 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours. We're like, let's eat again. Let's get a dessert. Now let's drink. Now because we drank a lot, we need to eat. So we don't have any problem, with the dizziness. But this is something that's the whole culture here. For example, we go for a coffee where we say frappe, and we go with our friends for a coffee and we stay for 4 hours. So when I traveled outside here and I saw that they were drinking the coffee like outside or standing still, and I was like, why are they doing that? Why are they not sitting, to chit chat with their friends? Like they don't have time to do that.
Absolutely, it's the most. I think eating, going out, and spending time with mates is the most underrated thing. And it's funny you say that because when I went to Greece but it's happened every time I go to Greece. You'll go to like a small Greek restaurant, right? And after you eat, like you have to do some ouzo. Like, of course. Sorry, you can't leave. You can't. I know you've paid your bill, but you can't go because you haven't done your ouzo.
Tsipuro, raki, it's all these.
Yeah, and I love it. It's brilliant because I enjoy a drink, especially them. Like I love doing little shots, mainly because I enjoy
Sfinaka.
It's
the shots. The sfinaka.
Oh, right. Okay, cool. And I think I enjoy it mostly because I enjoy seeing my mates look like they're in pain while they're trying to do it. Because I'm quite lucky because I can knock some pretty strong stuff back, and it like doesn't really affect. Don't get me wrong, it's like, cool, yeah, that was pretty rough. But I can watch some of my mates and they're like, no, I don't want to do it. They hate it, and then they do it and they look like they're gonna like throw up, and I'm like,
back up, yeah.
That's it. I love seeing my mates in peril. There's no better feeling.
That was what happened with me, with a very good friend that I have from my childhood, who is from Rosa, right? And it was one day that he had a Russian vodka, and he was like, let's drink that. He didn't tell me that it was like 96% of alcohol. So we took the shot, and I was like, dude, what? I'm dying. What is that?
It's literally perishing your insides, isn't it?
Exactly.
Because I've done some of that. I think I've done some 96% stuff in Italy once when we went skiing, and it's like, I think I could just feel it for like the next 3 days, just burning my esophagus. No good.
But that's why I liked a lot in London, the Soho area.
Yeah,
because Soho, it's very similar to how Greece is, and also central of Athens.
Yeah, it's very, very cool that way. Just loads of loads of little bars and really cool feeling there in Soho. It's sick. So London's so cool.
Jojo's. Is that still there? I used to go to that when I was younger.
What's it called?
Jojo's. Madam Jojo's in Soho. I used to go there like twice a week, and I lived like an hour and a half train journey from London.
Yeah, not that I know of. Mate, most of them places do end up staying, especially if they've got a good reputation, because people just travel all over London to go to certain bars,
Exactly.
London's such a cool place, man. Where did you used to live, Chris?
Farnborough.
Farnborough.
The airport is?
Right, cool.
Yeah.
Decent. decent. No, it's
Yeah.
cool living close to London because I live out in a place called Essex, which is just east of where London is, like just slightly northeast. And I love the countryside. Like I couldn't personally live in a city. Like it's just not for me. I just don't like it. So I enjoy living out in the countryside, in the green and the grass and whatever. But I'm so close to London. I can get on a train and in an hour I'm like in central London.
That's great.
I'm just so lucky where I live. So But yeah, man, I need to get back to Canada one day, man. I need to back it.
You should. You should.
Yeah,
I need to. I've got
great.
so
You
many.
just don't
I've
come
got
in the
so
winter.
many friends. Yeah, I've got. But then I want to experience like a Canadian winter. I think that would be cool. I've got so many friends there, man. Like, just why are there so many? What is it with you lot? Like,
Please tell me what do they eat? What do they drink? Like
I just don't get it.
70% of the creators.
More than half the year, we're stuck inside, right? So people are just making
Come on,
stuff,
it's something in your water. Something in your water.
Yeah, I just
The
don't-
winter's actually my favorite time to shoot. Like, it's the most beautiful time to shoot. When it snows, absolutely by far
Oh man,
the
the
best.
trees, they look amazing, right? Like like that crystal on the trees.
Yeah.
Oh,
How
Someone
cold
is
does it
going to
get in the
hear us
winter?
right now. They're going to say this. They're crazies, right?
How
We're talking
cold
about
does it get?
the 120
How cold?
frames, and the snow that is going to.
The worst I've ever felt is like minus 42 on average.
Celsius. Celsius or
yes.
Fahrenheit?
Celsius, yeah.
You're
That's
taking
the
the
worst.
piss, mate.
On
Minus 40.
average, you'd be like in winter, like solid dead of winter, you'd be minus 15 to minus 25 on average.
Around
Oh.
25
What?
lately,
Yeah.
yeah.
I would be frozen. My blood would be frozen in the veins. Would not go out.
But it's a different kind of cold though. Like when my parents come over, they say it doesn't feel as cold as they think it would because
It's
it's like
dry.
a
Yeah.
dry cold. Whereas in England, it's a very damp.
You
cold,
don't
so
have
it can get to, like-
humidity. You don't have humidity
exactly.
cold.
So-
Yeah.
No?
Dude, so the funny thing is, like, when I used to go back to India to visit some of my family, I'd see them at like late at night or early in the morning. They would have like toques on and like scarves wrapped around. I'm like, dude, it's like 30 degrees Celsius right now. But it's like a different kind of chill. It's like very humid, and it gets people sick like a lot more compared to like the cold here, where it's really dry, and I guess people just don't feel it.
That's why
Where,
you're not whining? That's why you're not
Yes.
whining. Yeah.
I guess, yeah. I don't
Where,
mind
where,
it,
where in India are your family from?
We're from South India, Chennai.
Oh, Chennai,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, mate, because I visited India 2019, I think it was. Fucking hell, mate, what a country. Like,
Yes.
one of my most favourite places I've ever been. And, like, the biggest culture shock ever.
Yeah.
Like, so
Which part
cool.
were you in? North?
Well,
Like
I
Delhi?
was in like some of the very like typical touristy places, but I was travelling alone. I was doing like a backpacking, just hostel hopping and whatever. But I started off in Delhi, and Delhi hit me in the face like an absolute slap, mate. I turned up and I was like, whoa, like it's just mental, absolutely mental. But I loved it so much. Delhi, then I done Agra. Obviously, had to do the Taj while I was there. Also done the Pink City.
Okay. I think I
What's the Pink City called? It's like one of the most famous places in India.
Is it called Pink City?
Let me Google
Pink
it.
City. Jaipur.
Ah,
Mate,
yes.
So
Because
sick.
the houses and the roofs, yeah.
Oh, mate! I even met like a little. It's actually on my YouTube channel. I met like this little local Indian fella, and he like as I was just out with my camera, and he said, "Oh yeah, come up to mine." He took me up to like the top of his house, and I just looked over the whole city. And then everyone gets they get these little
Kites,
get these
yeah.
little kites, mate. It's so
kites, yeah.
sick. It's so cool. And then I went down to Goa, and then spent the rest of my time down in Goa.
Goa's nice, yeah.
Monsoon season wasn't the best idea that
yeah.
I've ever had. That was pretty rough.
Yeah.
But no, man, what a country, man. Oh, God.
Yeah,
so
lots
good.
to do there. Lots to see.
Incredible place.
Yeah, unfortunately, with what's happening right now, like my parents just called back.
They
man,
live there?
like, the
They
COVID
live there,
situation
Tausif?
there. No, my parents are here, but like their parents, so my grandparents and stuff are back there. Man, it is crazy. So like, pretty much majority of like my family back home now has COVID. And it is insane situation. Like they're like hospitals are full. Like people are just like roaming the streets because they're not able to like even find oxygen tanks and everything. Like the situation's really bad there.
They have like
But-
400,000 cases per day, right?
Yeah. It's insane. And the thing is, they had it somewhat under control, I guess, up until now, because I didn't hear about like people were fine, family was fine, and then suddenly, like in like a couple weeks, everything just like shot up. Like it was, I don't
This
know.
thing fucked us so hard, man. The
sending a
whole
lot of
world.
love to India, man. It's looking pretty rough
Yeah.
at the moment.
It is, yeah. What's your? I mean, going down the list, James. What's your? You've traveled to a bunch of places. I'm curious. What's your favorite place that you've been to?
I would say my favourite place I've ever been to would be Vietnam. But I think the only reason I'd say that is because I spent a whole 3 months there. So I felt like I understood and got the cult. Like I got
Local,
the Vietnamese
like a
people.
local.
Yeah, after that time, I understood them, and I felt like I was one of them. After 3, I know 3 months ain't even that long, but I was literally staying up in the mountains near China at some points, and it's like you feel like you get them, you understand them. But it's very hard to say which one was my favourite. My favourite one in terms of my personal experiences, probably India. My favourite place in terms of shooting, I'd probably say Madeira. So it depends on what level I'm classifying. Why do I like this so much? You know, but
Interesting.
Where's the first place you're going to go when you can travel again?
There's a possibility that I'm going to be going away next month for a job. Got so many hoops to jump through to make sure that I can get that done, and obviously make sure it's safe and whatever. So I might be going away next month, but let's put it on a note of where am I going to go on my next holiday, for example. I want to go back to Ibiza,
Exactly.
mate. I want to go back to Ibiza. I want to be there with all my mates, get 10, 15 of us, rent out a villa, everyone in the pool having a good time again, smiles, hugging, the lot. I miss that so much. And then just getting out, listening to some of my favourite DJs, go to some cool open-air techno events. That's, Ibiza, mate. What an island.
You hear that,
Magical
Emilio?
island.
Hugger. He's a hugger.
Sorry?
What
Emilio.
did you say?
You hear that? He's a hugger.
Yeah, of
I'm a
course he's a
hugger.
hugger.
Yeah.
Of course, he's a normal person.
I'm a hugger,
you go.
mate.
Not only the persons who are not normal, they're not huggers.
Yeah.
I said that.
In terms of shooting, I want to go to Iceland. I've never done Iceland. Obviously, that whole volcano situation that's going on there at the moment has got
Can you
me
imagine
itching.
we were there right now on the volcano with the drones and everything? I saw Sorel Moore is the name.
Yeah.
Phew.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's luck. Right?
She's a really cool creator, actually. She lives out
Amazing.
there now, I think. She's
Oh, she
awesome.
moved down there?
She was living there.
Oh, wow. I didn't know.
Didn't someone's drone melt or something like that? They were flying over and
got
got hit
hit,
by a piece
yeah.
of lava or something. Yeah.
Oh,
I saw that.
that would be the coolest battle wound on your drone, wouldn't it? Like,
It would.
I'm sorry, scratches are cool. You've hit a rock, whatever, mate. We've all done that. But did your drone
Flying lava.
literally catch a
Lava.
flying piece of lava out of an exploding volcano?
Yeah.
That is
There
cool.
you
The
go.
best. Yeah.
James.
Okay, I got my last question here, and then I guess, Amelia, we can... the last question is there a niche you would have rather done instead than the niche that you're currently in? So if you had a choice to do any other niche right now, which one would it be?
Are you talking
Gardening.
niches in a filmmaking niche?
Sorry, come again?
Are you talking in terms of a filmmaking niche or just another job in general?
Whatever.
Just content, like making anything on YouTube. If you could start a channel right now and just do whatever you wanted, what would it be?
Travel vlogging.
Okay.
Travel vlogging for sure, because I just love traveling and documenting the experience of experiencing new things.
You know, that would actually be interesting. Like, I think your personality is very, it's like very lively and catchy. Like, I would definitely watch that if you were to do
Amazing.
something like that.
I actually, that's what I started out doing on the channel. I started out doing some travels.
He doesn't know, James. He hasn't seen the videos with your mates
Mate,
with skateboarding.
I'm not surprised. it was like 6 years ago, and the videos are pants.
Tausif,
So-
go check James'
I will,
channel when he was a kiddo, and you're gonna understand what I'm saying right now.
Yeah,
James,
I
have you
did
seen
start off doing that.
the British guy who travels? What's his name? Bald and Abroad. Have you seen him?
The name rings such a bell.
He's
Bored
good.
and abroad.
Bald, as in like no hair.
Bald.
Bald
right.
and Abroad. Yeah, he
The
goes to
name-
like the
the
most
name rings a
dangerous
bell.
countries and does like the stupidest things and like
That's a
it's
great
really
idea.
fun.
That's
I
a great
probably
idea.
have come across his videos because
Yeah.
the name really, really rings a bell. But Yeah, especially like this last year during lockdown, just watching other people traveling and like reliving just like mad experiences. Like I've just been soaking up so much of that lately, and I really just need to go back out there and do it myself. I'm ready to go, mate. Yeah.
Okay, so obviously we're very thankful for being today here. We don't want to get any more of your time because I know you already devoted so much time to us and the podcast.
No, thank you for having me, mate. I've enjoyed it. It's been bloody good fun.
And
thank you, James.
Honestly, we can't wait, as we mentioned, when all these things end, to get some fish and chips, beers, pools, Themba in Ibiza. Ibiza, I want to go to Ibiza. I've never been to Ibiza. Mykonos, yeah, but Ibiza, right?
You'd love it, mate. Well, I think Mykonos is going to be the new Ibiza.
Ibiza, yeah, right. So let's pronounce it with the right accent, right? Ibiza.
Ibiza, yeah. Ibiza, because Ibiza, the Spaniards say Ibiza because it's actually spelled E-I-V-I-S-S-A, I think.
Visa. Now you say with Visa, you know how the tits in Greek are. Visa. Yeah. Visa.
Visa. But where I'm from, the people just go Ibiza. Oh, it sounds horrible. Ibiza.
I remember that.
I-B-E-E-F-A.
Ibiza.
There you go, mate.
Thank you so much, James. Thank you so much.
Really
and
Fellas,
we can't wait to see
you.
what the future holds.
Mate, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time, boys.
Thank you so
Cheers,
much
James.
for being on here, man.